Mosul in Iraq, all but reclaimed from Islamic State 3 years after the militant group declared its caliphate from within the city. After driving ISIS back into Mosul's old town, Iraqi forces were battling fighters over a narrow strip of land near the Tigris River. Divided in two by the Tigris River, Mosul is the second largest city in Iraq and has a predominantly Sunni Muslim population. At the beginning of June 2014, Islamic State took just 4 days to drive the Iraqi army out of the city.
Вы можете посмотреть вот с той стороны. Братья начали нападение. И в той области шли бои 3 дня.
By the end of the month, the group had declared a caliphate for all Muslims worldwide, with Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi named as caliph. In July, Baghdadi ascended the Imam's pulpit in Mosul's Al-Nuri Mosque, his first public appearance as caliph. By the end of that summer, Islamic State controlled around 1/3 of Iraq, with Mosul its Iraqi stronghold. The group focused on public services as part of an effort to win popular support. They repaired roads and kept streets clean. Gardens were well kept and hotels refurbished.
Food prices were lower and security was better. But as the Islamic State came under more and more military pressure, there were enormous shortages of all kinds of basic goods. And in order to maintain control of the population, the Islamic State only had recourse to one tactic, which was extreme savagery.
They handed out harsh and deadly punishments for those who didn't abide by the group's strict rules. Iraq and its allies launched the campaign to retake Mosul last October. By January, the eastern part of the city had been cleared, backing most of the extremists into the old city, in the western part of Mosul. The group entrenched itself in neighbourhoods it still held, using residents as human shields, enlisting snipers to shoot those who fled, and using booby-trapped vehicles to block streets. By the end of June, Iraqi forces were confident that they could eradicate ISIS from the city. The mosque that Baghdadi had spoken from 3 years earlier lay in ruins. Victory is settled, and remaining Daesh are trapped in the last spans. Iraqi Prime Minister Haider al-Abadi said, using the Arabic abbreviation for Islamic State, "It is only a matter of time before we announce the big victory to our people." Now, Mosul presents a new challenge for the Shiite-led Iraqi government.
A significant portion of the youth has been indoctrinated quite heavily by the Islamic State. They've been recruited by ISIS, they've been trained by ISIS. Getting them back into some kind of meaningful, productive relationship with the rest of their society is going to be a very real problem.
ISIS also leaves behind a city ravaged by years of war.
The Iraqi government, given its shortage of funding, given its shortage of competent staff, is probably going to fail in the reconstruction effort.
The issue is not helped by the sectarian and political divide throughout Iraq. The rebuilding effort by the Shiite-led government in other mainly Sunni cities liberated from ISIS has been slow. Moreover, the government and its supporters may seek to capitalise politically and economically on Baghdad's victory in Mosul, which risks compounding sectarian tensions with the city's traditionally Sunni residents. Local governments in the area want to punish the families of suspected Islamic State members, despite warnings from Mr. al-Abadi that such policies will only divide the country further. Another challenge will be resettling those who fled the fighting. The UN says that more than 500,000 people have been displaced in the 8 months since the military operations began, over a quarter of Mosul's pre-war population. And while the recapture of Mosul is significant, Islamic State still remains in control of a number of other smaller Iraqi towns and a swathe of territory in Syria.